Hi YouTube, it's your favorite astrologer, Adama, aka Lilith Astrology, and I'm here with the second to last video, the 11th sign of the zodiac. And I need a wine break because it's been a long day and I filmed a quadrillion of these videos for you guys, so I think I deserve it. So, Aquarius, the 11th house. 11th sign of the zodiac. This is we're almost to the end. We're almost to the end of the cycle of essentially life. That's what the zodiac wheel, that's what the horoscope wheel represents, is it's a circle of life, like all of the different stations that you go through in life. And Aquarius is the second to last one before Pisces, which is the 12th. So the 11th house is groups, friends, but not like the 5th house where it's, romance and fun with friends and close friends. The 11th house is like networks of people, the internet. Aquarius rules the internet. That's a great example of Aquarian energy, is just a network of people who are not close, but there's information exchanging back and forth that betters the world and elevates us to a higher dimension, essentially. So Aquarius is ruled by Saturn and Uranus. So I mentioned the internet, these people, so I guess you could call them the weirdos of the zodiac. These people operate on a plane that is completely different from everyone else in the zodiac. Aquarians love sci-fi. They love talking about aliens and other dimensions, and tech rule is under Aquarius. I mentioned the internet already. Science, new discoveries, research and new discoveries, research and cosmic discoveries like astrology can fall under Aquarius. It's just new ways of thinking and different ways of thinking. I guess like Apple, think different, that's a super Aquarian company, just elevating humanity and elevating technology in ways that it never has before. So these people are just all about the collective. They're all about helping and saving humanity and taking humanity to a different level. And they just they march to the beat of their own drummer. They don't follow the status quo and reject it. They're the type of people you would have seen in the 60s, protesting, racism and doing good for the community, and, giving speeches about how we should end the war in Vietnam. For instance, Oprah is a famous Aquarius, and she spent her life trying to better the world, in her own way, through her show, through her TV network, and then through the charities that she runs and the things that she does. So people connect with her on a mass scale. So it's different from some of the signs that are more one-on-one, like a Cancer, for instance, or a Scorpio. Very one-on-one people, and they're more about deep, close personal bonds, whereas Aquarius likes to have a network of friends. They're the type of people that will have a quadrillion loose connections. Like, they just like to kind of go, see where the wind takes them, but not like Sagittarius in a sense. They're more like, it's like a network for them. The water bearer, I cannot say that. Try saying that 5 times fast. Water bearer, okay? The water bearer is their symbol. They're not a water sign. They are fixed air. So fixed air, so it's difficult. No, it's not difficult to describe, but it's like, all right, when you are, I'm gonna talk about Miami, for instance. If you've ever been in Miami in August, or the Caribbean in like a really hot season, and the air is just thick and it's just stays and it's stagnant. No breeze. There's nothing there. That's Aquarius. That's Aquarius air. So these people are just, they're fixed. So once they form their opinion, it's kind of like the other fixed signs like Leo, and Scorpio, and Taurus. So they are the fixed sign of all the air signs. When these people form an opinion, so I could form an opinion on climate change. I'm not going to change my mind. This is what it is, and I know what I need to do to help humanity, and I know what I need to do to change that, and there's nothing that's going to change my mind. So they become very fixed on a cause or fixed on something. Yeah, these people could be, you know, they could run some crazy tech startup and come up with some new technology that changes the way that, you know, I don't know, rainforest trees are cut down and end deforestation. They're the type of people to develop some sort of way to like clean the oceans with some like automatic trash compactor that, you know, does it in mass scale. They can run a charity. They can, you know, they can go into politics, but not just politics and being a figurehead, but politics and actually changing the world and doing something. And these people are just, they just march to be their own drummer. They don't care what anybody thinks about them because they know in their heart what needs to be done to change the world. And they also operate at a higher, not even at a higher plane, I should say, but they just operate on a different plane and different way of thinking than everyone else. And that's a beautiful thing. It's a genius thing. We wouldn't have such amazing inventions if we, you know, didn't have that. So going back to their ruling planets, Uranus and Saturn. So Uranus is actually when Uranus transiting through the sky in your birth chart, or transiting, you know, the world is experiencing Uranus transits. It's a planet of sudden changes. So Uranus is something like if Uranus transits into your, let's say, 8th house, you could meet the love of your life and get married all of a sudden, or, you know, a breakup could happen all of a sudden and you didn't see it coming. It's just very like sudden, quick movement and changes. It also rules innovation and progress, and technology. And, you know, if you have Uranus in a certain place, like I actually have Uranus in my 6th house of everyday life and work and duties. And, you know, it's tough sometimes to follow the 9 to 6 grind, or to follow a certain way, like if you're in an organization working a certain way that fits the status quo, because you just kind of want to be like, that's not the way that I do it this way, and that makes sense to me. So I feel like I've struggled with that in my whole life, so I understand Uranus on a daily basis because I'm dealing with it in my everyday life and how I do things and how I run my life. Hence why I work in the internet, because it just makes sense to me. I've worked in, you know, digital and social marketing in the beauty space for 10 years now, and it just combines everything that I love into one job. So it just made sense to me. And our generation actually has, my generation, I'm 31 years old. Uranus is a generational planet. So our generation has Uranus in Capricorn. And so when Uranus is in that type of sign, here I'm going into Capricorn, but there's a point to this tangent. When Uranus is in that type of sign, it can see what's wrong. That's why a lot of our generation rejects racism and systemic oppression that generations before just went along with. It wants to flip it on its head, but you can see the bullshit because of Capricorn being there and Uranus together. So Uranus is a planet of change and progress. So it's a beautiful planet, and it actually is the only planet in the solar system that's flipped on its side, and it flips this way. So I think that's just says it in of itself. It's just its own planet doing its own thing, flipped on its side, and doesn't give a fuck about any of the other planets. And, you know, that it is what it is. As far as compatibility, Aquarians, honestly, they could be alone and be completely fine with that. They could be alone, and as long as they are fighting for the cause that they want to fight for and have the connections that they have, and, you know, be able to learn from them and change things and grow, they're fine. But if they do decide to partner, a Sagittarius is a great option for them. Sagittarians are all about learning. They could talk to each other for hours about philosophy and higher learning. And Aquarius will talk about passionately about the causes that they believe in and what they're passionate about, and Sagittarius will just like want to learn all about it. Gemini also is great because Gemini gets bored easily and Aquarius is off doing their own thing. Gemini has the freedom that they need to express themselves and, you know, be social. And they're both are very social signs and will understand that about each other. Yeah, I would say those are like the two best signs for Aquarius. So as far as just like the shadow side of Aquarius, I would say they do focus on the collective more than they do people that are close to them, and that can make them feel like, that can make people close to them feel like they don't care. But Aquarians do care about them, but it's in their own way. And they can be nurturing, but it's to the collective, it's to everyone. It's to the masses. That's really, humanity is what they care about first. And I think that's a beautiful thing, but I think, you know, that sometimes can get in the way of some of their close ties in their life is just that mentality. But, you know, otherwise we need these people, we need them, or otherwise we wouldn't have invention, we wouldn't have the light bulb, we wouldn't have computers, we wouldn't have the internet. None of this would exist if that their energy did not exist. So thank you, Aquarius. And that's it. This is Lilith Astrology. I'm Adama. Subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at Lilith Astrology. See what I do every day out and about in New York City, and some great astrology content there too. And have a good night.